Hey everybody, it is the last day of Inktober and I have completed Ripe and it was a lot of fun. Probably not my favorite one, but it is a nice, bright, pretty red. I'm not a big fan of tomatoes, but that's what I think of when I think of the word ripe. I thought of a lot of things, but went with the tomato because, well, the skull is kind of round like a tomato is, especially the back of it. And I had these different reds that I wanted to try out. So I looked for the best possible red for a tomato, or at least what I thought was the best red. I know I've probably told y'all before that I'm colorblind, and so I wasn't totally sure which red to choose, but I went with the scarlet, I believe, and I just jumped right in with the pen. I didn't even do a pencil drawing of the skull first. I just jumped right in with pen and ink. You'll see that I've made a few mistakes here and there. I didn't like the shape of the skull the first time around, so I added some to it. Later on, that one line shows through the red, and I don't really like it too much, but it's okay. It kind of shows the process, and I like it when you can see the process behind the painting. I usually do a drawing first, and I don't always erase the drawing. Almost never erase the drawing. I do it every now and then. I will erase the original drawing, pencil drawing, but anyway, so I just jumped right in and did that. I don't think that the white, the reflected, however you say it, light was all that right at the bottom, or the highlights were just right, but it probably comes off pretty well from a distance. I had a little picture of a tomato off to the side that I was using. I lost some of the footage of me putting in the stems, but bam, magically there's some stem there. I used a little bit of two different color greens. I think it was a emerald green and then a regular green from the Bombay India inks, and did some shadows. And then when it was all said and done, I usually put in a darker background, either slightly darker or something to cover up the white. But I thought the white and the tomato contrasted really, really well, and so I left that. But I thought the whole thing looked a little bit plain. Sorry about the blurriness there. But I thought the whole thing looked kind of plain, so I decided to slice a little bit off the back of it. I was also going to add some worm. I was going to say worms. I was going to add a worm coming out of the eye, and I thought it would be kind of cute. The image I had in my mind was real cute. I went to the internet and looked up tomatoes and worms, and it made me gag. So I couldn't even bring myself to put a cute worm coming out of the eye anymore. But I did decide to slice the back off. I hadn't got to that part yet, but I kind of felt like the highlight was a bit harsh, and I struggled with that the entire time, trying to make the highlight not quite as harsh. In the end, when I sliced off the back of the tomato, it kind of took care of the highlight for me, and I didn't have to worry about it as much. All in all, I think all of these Inktober's took me about 45 minutes to an hour for every Inktober that I did. And that's not including making the video, piecing it together, and doing the audio. That's just how long drawing each one did. So I whited out the back of the tomato skull, and I found a picture of a slice of tomato on the internet, and it was not facing this direction. It was just kind of like, here's a slice, laying there on the table, and you could see it was nice and round. So I had to take what I was looking at face on and try to make it look like it was sideways. That was challenging. All in all, I think it kind of turned out pretty cool. It actually looks like the inside slice of a tomato, I think, especially once I get done blending some orangish, reddish, whatever it is, pinkish into it and fixing some of it. I thought it looked rather slicey. So hey, that's it. This is the end of Inktober. I'm actually looking forward. Well, I'm glad that Inktober's over. I'm glad that I'm done. But I'm actually looking forward to using some of what I learned to make more art in the coming weeks, based on what I learned from Inktober, based on the pen and ink method that I've been using, based on the idea of prompts, all that sort of thing. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, if it was helpful, motivational, or any of that kind of thing. Share it on your favorite social media platform for me or your website. Comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And go party, because Inktober's over.